Hey, and welcome to well, I shouldn't say a brand new Let's Play. Well, it's new because I am starting it officially now. I already played the game as a test play to find out how it's like. What it's like, how is it clunky or so. I will link the video for my test play in the description, but for now, this is Crystal Dragon for Amiga, a game developed by Magnetic Fields and published by Black Legend in 1994. Magnetic Fields, the developers, from the games that they developed, the only one that I really know is also for Amiga, Lotus series, Lotus 1, 2, 3, a racing games, but that's not what I want to talk in this game. So I'll go ahead and start. The intro when we go to the new game is a bit, I would say, long and some text to read, so please bear with me as I go through it. 1,000 years of peace shattered by the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy. A prophecy that foretold the rise of a powerful sorcerer and his quest for magical crystal. Ariath, sorcerer of evil, master of the hordes of chaos, his unholy armies stalk the land ceaselessly, searching for a magical artifact. After many years, Ariath received news of a great beast inhabiting a vast cavern in the northern mountains. The sorcerer assembled his army and traveled north. Ariath was certain that the crystal was within his grasp. The entrance to the beast's lair lay at the foot of a single peak. Ariath cautiously ascended into the chamber to find a large, sleeping dragon. Amidst the dragon's horde, Ariath saw the crystal, but before he could claim his prize, the mighty dragon awoke, a menacing look in its eyes. Spells flew back and forth as a huge battle ensued. The dragon had vast powers and the crystal's guardian. Soon only the beast and Ariath remained as the crystal guardian. Ariath battled the beast for many days and nights, his strength growing with his determination to take the crystal for himself. Finally, the dragon could resist no more. Ariath had his victory. As Ariath tried to touch the crystal, an invisible yet powerful force prevented him. No spell or chant could remove the magical barrier. But Ariath would not be beaten. He summoned all his power and created a towering magical fortress on top of the mountain, so that he could study and gain the secrets of the crystal. Ariath summoned a multitude of vile creatures to protect the fortress and its treasures. Eventually, he would master the force within the crystal and unleash its power upon the world, and his vision of chaos and destruction would become reality forevermore. And then he would just sit there and have his pet dragon warm his feet. Or so it seems. Right, this is the character creation menu. There are two ways that we can do this. There are 6 classes: Paladin, Thief, Warrior, Assassin, Magician, and Cleric. We can have up to 2 heroes, but if we go and hit done, we could start with pre-generated party that starts as a level 2. And I will not go that way. Perhaps if I struggle a lot at the beginning, maybe I would restart it with the stronger party, but I don't want that. I want to start a challenge for this game. So this episode will be about, well, the intro of course, obviously, and the party creation, I believe, as this take some time. As I will also go through them and explain what I found out, perhaps from the manual, from any other tips that I could collect. So let me just pull whatever I need for this. So 6 classes. Manual. Where's the manual? Here's the manual. For the warriors, which are the best fighters out of 6 classes, their proficiency with hand weapons, they gain 15% offensive bonus when in melee. This class has limited read rune and spellcasting abilities, whatever that is at this point. And they have low wisdom and intelligence. A warrior's prime stats are strength, constitution, and dexterity. So, where's the warrior? Here's the warrior. Strength, constitution, and dexterity. A prime stat means the lowest value it can get is 12. The lowest value for a secondary stat is 6. So I think the highest value that we can reach is 30, but I'll get to that in a second. Paladins. They gain 15% offensive bonus when using hand weapons and are also able to resist disease. Their prime stats are also strength, constitution, and dexterity. And they have paladins with high strength will gain damage bonuses when using swords, maces, axes, hammers, and daggers. They don't sound really that promising when compared to warriors, or I would put them at the same level. Thieves. They have the ability to steal treasures from any characters they may encounter, providing that they do have an item. Such items as crowns, necklaces, and rings, for which they need high dexterity, but also they possess the ability to pick common locks, disarm non-magical traps, read runes, and resist poison. Their prime stats are constitution, dex, and wisdom. And the nice thing about thieves, they gain a triple damage bonus when backstabbing an opponent with a dagger. So we could just run around enemy and stab him for a triple damage. If we fail in the first round, I may take a thief in the second one for the that will probably absurdly high damage output. Assassins. Those, from my perspective, at least what the manual says, they act more as a ranger's archers rather than an assassin. They are unsurpassed in the use of ranged weapons. An assassin with a bow is a formidable adversary. Like thieves, they can disarm non-magical traps and are resistant to poison. They can become adept at using magic when they are at higher level. Their prime stats are strength, dex, and intelligence. They gain 20% offensive bonus and a double damage bonus when using bows, slings, blowpipes and throwing knives. Sorry. The next class are clerics, which are excellent spellcasters and possess ability to wield concussive weapons effectively and tirelessly. Undead creatures in combat with a cleric have a 10% chance of fleeing from them. I don't see this as a good thing. I remember in Eye of the Beholder, the turn undead was mostly annoying because I had to chase the enemy just to kill it. So if it's the same here, this may be a slight pain. A cleric with high wisdom can identify items and read runes. Good constitution also ensures resistance to poison and disease. Their prime stat is constitution, wisdom, and intelligence. Clerics gain a 15% offensive bonus and a 50% damage bonus when using masons and hammers. So I would say they don't really need that high strength when in melee using those weapons. And finally, the last class, Magician, which is a very weak class at the first levels, but can become a powerful magic user at higher levels. They cannot wear heavy weapons or heavy armor. Magicians can identify items, read runes, resist magical attacks, and scribe higher level magic. Magicians' prime stats are Dex, Wisdom, and Intelligence. Magicians gain bonuses when spell casting. So that's it for the 6 characters. Let me see if I have any information on the stats, because those are also important here. I haven't seen that in the first part, which is actually surprising. Also, the manual has an extensive backstory of the game. As I don't know, I think it's around 17 pages, which is long. The intro was just a slight introduction to what the game is. Inventory. There we go. Is that it? No, that's not it. Okay. Strength, the ability to carry heavy loads and inflict extra damage with weapons. Constitution, the ability to perform tirelessly and stave off poison and disease. Dex, the ability to use weapons and shields, picklocks and disarm traps. Wisdom, ability to identify items, read scrolls, parchments, and runes. And finally, Intelligence, the ability to cast spells and scribe high-level magic. And that's it if it comes to the manual. Now, the second part. As I said, all of the characters have 3 prime stats and 2 secondary stats, so their lowest value is 48 stat, 56, 42, yeah, 48. That's all put together. And the pool of points we have is 18 at the moment. If we re-roll that, lower it down, we will get a different result. From the test I did like, I don't know, 30-40 re-rolls. The highest pool I got was 27. So, and apparently from I think, was it from the manual or from the other file, that's not the highest value we can get. It should be around 33 or so. So I will not even aim to that numbers. But enough of the initial babbling. I want to start, and I have no real clue what kind of party I would want to take, but I will take the same approach as I did for Menzoberranzan. That means a cleric and a mage. This may be a terrible choice. I could go probably with 2 warriors, and considering this game is a mix of Dungeon Master Eye of the Beholder, Black Crypt, and probably some other games. In the test play, I think it was in the test play or somewhere else, I noticed that the mage, not only the mages can scribe the scrolls, every hero class has access to the spell book. They are only limited by their intelligence. So the wizard or clerics could be really, in my opinion, one of them should be important. The other one could be pretty much left out of the party. A thief and a cleric could work well, or a warrior and cleric, I don't know. But I will start typically with a cleric and and mage. But I want my pull points to be a lot higher. So this is the longest part, will probably the longest part of the initial episode. 26, that is a good roll actually, and I will stick to it. Strength, that's the extra damage. This is stamina plus probably health points. Dexterity, what was it again? The cooldown on attacking the enemy. Cleric is the only class that has 6 dexterity, so this is disappointing because I did want to have it as a higher value. So I may actually switch out to Paladin and Magician in this case, because those two classes things would be really important for the front row. Let's see what can we work out with this. Probably 2 wisdom. This actually looks terrible in my opinion. Let me check on my sheet, because I noted down for myself the lowest values for all classes instead of going back to the manual itself. If I want strength and dex, I could go with paladin, warriors and assassins, and I don't want the last one. Nah, I will work with this. Higher dex means I can swing more often, but that means the stamina will drain a lot quicker. And also this is a cleric, so a few more points to wisdom. And be careful when you finish character creating and go to select instead of done. Done means you are ready to start the dungeon. Select. Morgana, sure. And a wizard. Magician. Which are the magicians? The old guy here, the redhead. There was one more. And Xander. Nah, let's go with 2 females, because why not? And of course, taking into consideration the pool of points, this may take once again a moment. If it's 12, I think, let me actually look it up for the re-rolling statistics. No, miscellaneous. Nope. That's not it. Because those are important things that I want to understand before I start. Ah, there we go. Oh, might have understood it a bit incorrectly. So each of the primary stats go from 12 to 17. Oh yeah, I did understand it correctly. From 12 to 17. So that's 11 plus 1d6. And the secondary are 5 plus 1d6. So from 6 to 11. And the pool also has a random value, which is 1 to 6. So yeah, that's a very crappy roll. Nope. I can already tell this will be poor. 23. Yeah, I want at least 25. I know that's not a lot of points in difference, but it may be very important later on. 4, 4, 12, 15, 21. No, thank you. Nope. I will first look at the pool. There we go. 5 for a start, which is awesome. And the rest was crap. 5 again, and the rest is, well, you know. Oh, there was a 6. Oh, nice, another 6. And this may actually work out. 27. So, this is a magician. Let me just quickly. Prime stats, dex, wisdom, intelligence. And they would need probably a lot of intelligence. 25 will work. Some wisdom, I guess, some dex, and of course constitution and strength. This looks pretty good to me. Select. And this didn't go that bad. I was expecting a lot worse results in creating the party. So let's go ahead and enter the dungeon and the difficulty level. Once again, the manual proved itself really useful here. Difficulty. The beginner one. First time adventurers are advised to select this difficulty level. This effectively halves the number of hit points of any creature encountered and makes exploratory forays possible. No idea what that means. Dungeoneer. Players of dungeon adventure games should select this level. Creatures encountered will have normal hit points, but caution is advised. And experienced adventurer. Seasoned role players who relish the prospect of a lengthy game should select this level. Any creatures encountered will have 1.5 times their normal complement of hit points, making combat a prolonged and dangerous experience. And that's pretty much it. Also, I read somewhere else that on the beginner level, you are given with the map ability straight away. It's similar to not Eye of the Beholder, to Black Crypt, when you learn the magic to cast. That was Wizard's side in that game. Here you also learn magic map or something like that allows you to see the magical area. And on the beginner level, you're given a constant magical map. So that's pretty much it for the difficulties. But I wanted to go on a mid-level of the game, since apart from the test play, I haven't played it at all. Done. You arrive at the fortress, tired and hungry after your arduous journey through the mountains. A heavy stone inscribed with ancient symbols prevent you from entering Ariath's domain. So we have symbols here. The runes read Fortress of Ariath. Those are buttons. And I scroll. Only the wise may enter. Basically, this is a first puzzle that we encounter in the game. We need to press the buttons in a certain order, which I already did in the test play, so that's not much of a challenge. And all we can do now is enter the dungeon. Let's see, what do we have? Few apples, water flask, a mace, so our damage is already boosted, a potion bottle. There we go. If we pick up the item more times than once, if our wisdom is enough, the item will get identified. Can you use that? You cannot. Can you wear that? You cannot. Cyrena laughs contemplatively. Cyrena laughs loudly. Yeah, if you do some stupid action with one hero, the other will laugh at you. Morgana smiles at Cyrena. Morgana is hungry. Yeah, and as the game said, they are hungry the moment they enter the dungeon. Water scroll, light. Fire scroll, magic missile. Air scroll, compass. I will not go into this in using those scrolls in this episode, but they are not equipped at all. Mage's robe and cleric robe. The nice thing that they included in this game is free level inventory, well, equipment. You've got accessories, main armor, and clothing. That's it, just clothing. A similar thing was in Black Crypt. You had your main weaponry plus the weapons, I think. No, weapons were enhanced, never mind. Clothing that had a bit more than this, and extras. But all I want is this. Turn it around. That's the exit. Oh my god. Oh my god. It is locked. Right. Saving the game already. And camp. Save game as a game saved. And I will also use the emulation save states. Only probably between episodes, just to have a bit more assurance that the game that I have the game saves stored if anything would go wrong, which with this game and my current experience on how well the test plays, how much time I had to put in the test plays for the game to actually work correctly. Yeah, I want to be double prepared for whatever it throws at me. But for this episode, this is all. So see you soon in the actual first episode, which should be uploaded, I hope, right after the episode 0. Once again, thank you and see you.